I'd like to call this meeting of the select board to order on July 22nd, 2025 at 4:30. Any additions and deletions to the agenda?
Yeah, three quick things under votes. I would like to add the dispatch contract to be voted on. That was supposed to be voted on in the joint meeting a few weeks ago. We didn't get to it. Also, the propane bid for Dead River, to add that as well. And I know it's just that other business was not included on the agenda, so I just wanted to add that at the very end. In case anyone wants to discuss other business.
Okay. Managers report.
I'll be quick. So water bills are due at the end of the month. So if you have a water due bill, please submit it to us the next 8 days to avoid any fees. We appreciate that. Next, at the next select board meeting on August 19th, the company we have used for the reappraisal will be present and give a presentation on their process for how they're going to do the reappraisal and what it will mean for residents. So we'll get language out there, but hopefully people can attend, get some of the questions answered as this process happens, kind of avoid confusion going forward. So I'm letting people aware of that. Two other things. Today I was made aware that there's very good likelihood that the town will be able to receive a revolving fund, zero interest loan for the 1B project going through. So they have to go through a public comment period, but hopefully by September we'll know if we're available for that, which means we'll save on interest payments on that one. So that could be up to $4.1 million as well. So hopefully that will come through for us. And finally, I think Robert's in my office right now, closing out the fiscal year. I'm happy to announce that the village, town, and sewer should all end the year in a surplus. For the town, that's very impressive considering we used about $450,000 of undesignated fund balance for the purchase of the water company, which means despite that in the general fund, we still ended in a surplus, which means the undesignated fund balance should not be impacted at all based on this year. So I want to thank the finance department and all the department heads for all the work to make sure we came in under budget and continue to have good financial security for the municipality. That's all I have.
Okay, next up is liquor license for Brandon's LLC-1 first, third, and OCP license. And Susan?
I move we approve the liquor license for Braden's LLC, their first, third, and outdoor consumption based upon the assumption that the state reviews the application since they no longer give us the information to do so.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Next up is 32 the Green sewer abatement.
I don't know if someone's here for that.
Yes, Marisa McKee is here for that. I'm on Zoom here. Hi there. Hi. Reason for us being on the agenda is just an overpayment of our sewer bill. Our bill was reporting incorrect usage, so we went ahead and paid it in full, but overpaid it by about $2,400. So requesting today that it be approved to refund us the overpayment.
Do we have any
School bills?
information?
Yeah.
There should be, I was sending an email from Robert.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think we just had one that came in late. So basically, the meter was read wrong, so we sent out the bill. We sent out the wrong data. So once they let us know about it, Robert went back and compared and realized that the reading was read incorrectly, so the bill was correct.
This was on our agenda 2 meetings ago, but they had emergencies, so that's
Correct.
yeah, just to jog everybody's memory.
I don't see anything.
Well, it sounds like the manifesto of the town then.
Yes, that'd be my reading of the situation.
You want to make the motion, Laura?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to do we want to abate it or correct it or apply the overpayment?
refund. the
Refund
overpayment?
Refund the overpayment to Maritza and Patrick at 32 The Green. As it meets the criteria for being a manifest error of the town.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you.
thank you. Woodstock Elementary School sewer abatement.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Bacoli, and I'm the facility director for Mountain View's Supervisory Unit. And I'm here today to request an abatement on penalties and interest on a sewer invoice that we had got for Woodstock Elementary School. They were sent out last March. Generally we received them together. We received one for the high school, but apparently we did not receive one for the elementary school until we received the invoice on June 6th, including interest and penalties on our sewer bill for that. Generally, our AP folks are on it, and they have indicated that we did not receive a bill from you. Recently, we've been getting some invoices from you folks with incorrect addresses and numbers. I'm gonna just leave it with you. These are the last two invoices we got over the past 2 weeks. With your invoices there. Addresses are incorrect. Names are incorrect. The high school is 70 Amsden Way. It's not listed on there. I'm sorry, the supervisory union is 70 Amsden Way. The high school is 100 Amsden Way, and the elementary school is 15 South Street. So we've been getting mislabeled bills, so just saying it could happen. So point I want to make.
So when the high school got their water bill and you didn't receive one for the elementary school, nobody thought that maybe we should call town hall and see what happened?
I don't think they realized that they were missing it until we got these. I mean, we have 6 schools. There's an awful lot of bills coming in. My assumption is they just assumed that it was already there.
And did you receive the guidelines?
We did.
Okay.
Yep.
And is there one that you are
Well,
feeling that you need?
yeah, if I had a big one, I would say it might be an error of the town because 1, we didn't receive it, and 2, the bills that we have been getting have been incorrect. For the past couple of years, I brought some dated ones where we have corrected them in hand and sent them back to.
So again, my question is, did anyone notify the town that the bills were wrong addresses?
We didn't know what was missing until June.
No, but I mean, if we had prior bills that had the wrong addresses on them.
Yes, yes, we did. We corrected them and sent it back to the town.
And the debate request is for the penalty, not for the usage bill itself.
Correct, we've already paid that. We paid principal in full, and the same with the high school when it was due. We didn't receive this bill until it was 30 days late.
Has Robert corrected these addresses, or?
I'm not sure what those addresses, all I can say is, the way our system works is we have data on when they were produced. We
Yeah.
just print them all out, we mail them all out. So our assumption is that they would have received it, but we
Yeah.
can't prove it one or the other.
We don't show what address we sent it to.
I don't know what I mean, but I can look that up tomorrow morning.
I'm fine, or I guess I'll take a stab. I'm fine to abate this, given that it's not a usage fee and it's a late fee. The folks here have come forward hoping to remedy this for getting the addresses corrected. I think it would be a different situation if it was usage. Given that the burden is on the taxpayers either way. I'm erring on the side of making a motion to abate the late fee and penalty for the school district for this one bill you're asking to abate for the elementary school.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay,
Thank you, folks. I appreciate it.
And Robert's in there if you just want to take a minute and correct all the addresses.
Yeah. Protocol packet.
That can be held, but we don't have anything on that yet. I will work on it both together in the last 2 days.
Okay. One Del Cobb Conservation DLP.
Yep, so in front of you, I think Susan, there's a map there. So I think, as you all remember, a while back, Susan had done a lot of work with the LCT, trying to find areas that can be conserved, not conserved on the Mondell property. They came up with a certain amount of property that would be excluded from conservation. As we dug into it, a lot of that property would never be, or at least currently is not buildable on due to habitat for animals, a historic fern, so on and so forth. So the Planning and Community Development Department spent some time. Harry Falconer helped us in Two Rivers and tried to carve out similar plots, similar acres of land that could potentially be built on or be easier to build on than the other land we originally excluded. So this gives us the same amount of land excluded. So the assessment and appraisal does not change. Therefore, so the potential grant from VLCT or the land trust will not change, but also opens up some potential land for development if we choose to in the future. So tonight would just be a vote on agreeing to this layout, and that would allow us to continue to move forward with the land trust.
So it's a purple, what's?
Yes, excluded, yeah,
Excluded.
from conservation.
I'll move that we exclude the areas noted by purple in the proposed grant from the list.
Your second? All those in favor? Marketing Committee appointee.
Yeah, so originally the hope was that we'd actually have promoted this and got applications and have the board make appointments to the marketing committee. I think we're still finalizing the MOU with the chamber, and we've yet to promote this, but I don't know if the board wants to have a kind of discussion, how you want to talk about this committee, what you want to see from it. I know just Kirby had sent suggestions, I think about a month ago. He'd like to see it formatted. But I think the board wants to talk about it or have public comments.
Well, I think we're really close on the MOU, so I think it would be helpful to go ahead with advertising for these appointments. I would anticipate that, well, we have to decide on how many people we want on the committee, but two of those should be members of the Chamber of Commerce. And other than that, you know, I was thinking either 5 or 7. I don't know what everyone thinks is a workable committee number.
I agree, Susan. I think my preference is for 5, to be
Yeah, I
honest.
think that's
What?
5 more than that.
Oh, okay, you were shaking your head, right? I thought you were ready to fight me.
So I think we should go ahead. I think it's hard to put out there in the community that you have to have a certain skill set. I think that we should see what applications we get and try to fit the skill set that Jessica indicated.
Roger indicated that he would be interested in applying, which we are grateful for also.
So is there a vote?
Do we need to vote?
No.
Motion to advertise.
Yeah, I motion to advertise, yeah.
Okay,
And I give a motion to create a marketing committee that will fall in the jurisdiction of the select board.
Someone want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to create a marketing committee under the jurisdiction of the select board to be comprised of 5 community members with 2 chamber members. And advertise those vacancies as soon as we can.
Your
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I can address the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the next one is the South Woodstock Design Review Committee, and I want to note, Charles Homestone died last week, and he was a valued member of this committee for many years, and I'm very thankful for his service, and it does create an opening on the South Woodstock Design Review Committee. So I would move that we also advertise for that spot. I think they've always been a member of South Woodstock. I don't know that that's necessarily required. I don't know why you'd want to be on it if you weren't, but suppose you could.
And I think it's a 3-member. committee.
Can I go talk? Give you your score. South Woodstock. Woodstock actually now. Carol Wood, who lives in South Woodstock, has, showed interest in being a member.
So she,
And, sorry,
go ahead. I'm
sorry, Susan. And then and so it's a 3 or 5 member board.
Yeah.
You, I guess you can't have an even number for reasons that makes sense. And then also I have an interest if they need an alternate. And if they're unable to get the form support with the 3 members, that could be an alternate member on the board. I grew up in South Woodstock. I've lived there my whole entire life, and I just that's something that you would be okay with. But I know that Carol Wood has been shown great interest in wanting to be a member.
Yeah, I think it would be, I think what Susan's saying is like, we want to advertise it and then we have a proper application, right? For all of the appointments that we should have. And so if you and Carol don't mind filling that out, and we'll see what other applicants we get. To be
Oh, no,
appointed.
of course, understood. But yeah, I don't know if you had gotten anyone else and saying that she had already shown interest.
I think we have to. put it
Yeah,
out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, yeah, so dispatch contract. Things we added. So I think as some history in 2023, the sheriff's office did an RFP for dispatching services. At the time, Chief Bush was here. He submitted a proposal that got accepted. We negotiated a contract with the sheriff as things stood at the time. Since then, the sheriff has expanded their services to a number of new communities, I think almost doubling what they originally did when the original RFP went out in 2023. So interim chief Chris O'Keefe took it upon himself to meet with the sheriff and renegotiate the contract based on the extra workload that was flowing through our dispatch services. So this new contract almost doubles the current revenue that we have now from about around 50,000 to, I believe, it's about 90,000 now, to kind of show the difference in the workload that's being done. Everything else stays the same. It's just increased revenue for the town.
What are the payment terms? You know,
It's on there. I think it's quarterly.
okay.
So this would just replace the current contract that's currently in place, that the select board approved of in 2023.
is there a motion to approve the new dispatch contract with the sheriff's office?
I'll move we approve the dispatch contract with the sheriff's.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
So last one is a propane
Propane
bid.
bid,
Yeah.
and this was the only bid we received.
Order received, and we currently use them for our propane as well.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the propane bid from Dead River?
I will move we approve propane bid dated July 15th, 2025.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Housing advisory group.
Eric, this one's also a vote, not a discussion, right? The housing thing.
Yeah, so I think you moved the vote because of the ADU involved in that. Thank you, Laura.
I'm here online.
Okay,
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm here to present a request for funding approval for Rent to Locals Incentive Program. Received an application from Todd Ullman for one of his units at 2706 East Woodstock. It's a fully furnished 1-bedroom apartment, and he has been successful in getting a candidate in there that works locally. General contractor, he's been doing a lot of work with AG Moore and some others here in the area within our work area. The lease term is from June 23rd to June 30th of 2026. And I'm here to request your approval or vote on the program incentive, $6,000 for a one-year rental to a local worker in the area. It'd be paid via 2 payments of $3,000, one at the beginning and one at the end of the lease. Do you have any questions?
And these are from funds from the past, right? These are not funds from current 1% tax. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, these were funds that were allocated over a year ago to housing. So nothing new, funds that were already allocated to housing. Correct.
So my question is, if the new owner buys it
Mhm.
and they raise the rent, what happens?
Well, my understanding is, and I put these details on the flyer, I'm not sure if it made it into your packet.
Yeah.
That typically the entire property is for sale. It's been listed for over 230 days. So it's not had a whole lot of interest as far as purchase. The new owners will need to keep that lease intact. That's something that Todd said will happen as terms of the purchase. And even typically, maybe Susan could even speak to this, but by law, if you have a current rental lease and it's sold, the new owner generally inherits the existing lease and becomes the landlord and obligates that until the end of the term. So I don't foresee that would be a problem, based off Todd's agreement to ensure that's part of the purchase agreement.
And while I'm not a lawyer, I would make sure, I would think that
Yeah.
not, but to say that the contract must be subject to, or shall be subject to the new lease.
Wait a minute, say that again. I'm sorry.
The language you have in the flyer says every effort must be taken by the owner to ensure the lease is not broken, and I think it has to say the owner shall ensure the lease is not broken.
Okay. And we can put that in the legal agreement that he signs too. So I'll take that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback, Susan.
We,
Um,
we, 3 and 6 months and 12, or,
It's it says 6 months
yeah, but,
paid in 2 payments of 3,000.
right, but when do we pay that money?
Well, the next step now would be for me to pursue a legal agreement with Todd. And I'll add the information regarding the sale of the property. And the first payment is paid after that is signed. I'll put in a request for it. He's already provided the lease and the other information I need to ensure that an eligible tenant is living there. And then the other payment would be paid at the end of the lease around June 30th, 2026.
All right, that was my question, when the payments were made.
Because the lease has already started.
Right.
Now.
Yeah, the intention was to present this last month, but I didn't get the tenant documents until the evening of the select board meeting, which didn't meet the 1 week in advance submission.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve this, incentive for Charlie Major Enterprises for a 1-year lease for a local worker at 2706 East Woodstock.
Is there a second?
Second,
All those in favor? Aye.
And just so the record, the select board does not want me to approve this unless the language said
yeah, subject, yeah,
subject to.
making,
Okay,
yeah, and I'm happy to, as a non-lawyer, to look it over.
thank you.
And the second item I had, we really don't need to discuss anymore. There was a second document as far as requesting the Rent the Locals program. I think my preference now would be to just put that on furlough until you have the executive director who's taken over these plans, or whatever your decisions will be with the future of these plans, decide if they want to limit the cap. The reason I included it was because Todd was potentially going to rent out his second larger 3-bedroom, which is a hot commodity now in the rental market as far as the need for families. However, since it's fully furnished and some other things, the pricing of that is well beyond what we would request for the program, and so he's withdrawn that request, so. And that's all I have for you today.
Dana?
Thank you,
Thank
Tina.
you.
Thank you.
Short-term rental policy.
Future fireworks.
Oh, I said fireworks, I'm sorry.
They will be
Future
fireworks,
fireworks.
short-term rental policy, but,
Future fireworks.
yeah, I guess I'll start. So, since I've been here, I just third, July 4th, the planning, the, organization, the contracts have all flown through my office for the annual fireworks celebration in Woodstock. The select board expressed the desire, I think, the last budget session to stop that process, with the hope that a local organization would take it on or a volunteer group would step up. Whether the select board would still fund that or not, I think that's left open. But with July 4th just happening a few weeks ago, and with next July 4th being a big anniversary for the country, I think select board wanted to kind of see if there would be what the future fireworks could be. I think there's been some discussions offline with different board members of different organizations. So I'll leave it there.
And I can add, Eric was quoted in the paper saying this, and I felt it important that it get out there a little bit more publicly. I researched the fireworks back to 2009, which is when the standard, you can look at them online, and I wanted to get over to the History Center. Because at least my recollection was the town didn't used to be involved. It was either chamber or Rotary, and I remember paying to get in to park. And from what I read and could see in the paper back in 2009, it was a full day event run by a lot of nonprofits. There were games for kids run by Spectrum Teen. There was music paid for by Pentangle. And then at the end of an ad, there must have been 15 different sponsors, including the Woodstock Inn, Chamber, Pentangle, Dead River. And slowly but surely, it became solely the town's responsibility. And I think we should be getting back to where it's a community event with a lot of the other really vibrant organizations in town being in charge of this. It takes a lot of staff time, and, angst, and then criticism
Yeah.
for us to run the fireworks. So, and I don't feel it meets the goals that we have stated.
Right.
Do we want to think about advertising for, like, communicating, I guess, the need for like an organization of a group, or? Yeah, I've had some individuals reach out saying they're interested in being a part of the discussion and organizing, but I don't know how we can help facilitate without also being like the owners of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it has to happen soon, because I think you already found that July 4th is because of the anniversary.
It's probably a non-starter. I think that's
You're not
also
gonna get
starting
fireworks
to-
for July 4th at this point anyway.
At least
the
with the
cost
company
is-
we've used in the past, and
Right.
we've looked at other companies and haven't no luck with any other companies,
Right.
so.
Well,
There used to be a local guy who I think had a license and 20 something years ago, he did the fireworks, but I think he's deceased. So.
Right.
Hopefully not a fireworks.
yeah, the fireworks gone.
PJ has her hand up.
PJ?
Hi, sorry, I just got here really late, so I might have missed some things that you guys were discussing about the fireworks. But I don't know if you were talking about funding of them at all, because I was wondering why Woodstock never does a coin drop.
Yeah. Well, and you used to pay the car. I recall, cramming a whole bunch of people in the car, so it was a one car fee.
Or like a coin drop like on 4th of July weekend to raise money for the next 4th of July weekend.
But there's lots of things that can be done, and
Okay.
it's just, I think the town doesn't want to take the responsibility for that.
So you're talking about delegating the responsibility to a group. You're not talking about getting rid of the fireworks then.
No.
Well, if no group takes it over, that's the alternative.
I think it's really important community event. So I'd be involved.
Jerry?
Yep, she.
So I think it should be expanded to like a community picnic on the green and fireworks and just more of a community event. I've talked to a few moms who agree, but I'd be happy to be involved. You know, I'm definitely not the one to spearhead the thing, but I'd be happy to help.
I
Great.
know Brownsville does a whole day and I don't think the town's involved at all. I think it's all volunteers.
Yeah, we need to get back to that, I think, with yeah, community involvement. It's hard. I think there's a kind of a disconnect. So maybe this could be where we start.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, PJ.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other hands? Okay,
So does the board wanna send out an advertisement saying we're looking for a volunteer? I mean, I guess the question is,
To whom they report.
yes, there are people who'll be interested. I'm happy to walk through the process when we go through, but is it gonna be someone who is gonna be me spearheads the grouping of this all?
Did we lose PJ?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Would you not be the person that volunteers, at least people interested report to, and then you can happily hand off heading it to somebody?
Yeah, sure. You can email me. I mean, if you want to post my email or where to find me. Or pretty much everybody knows where to find me, but whatever works. Yeah. PJ@vtsundaydraft.com.
And Lauren also.
come on up, Lauren, please.
And we can get a group maybe together.
Hi, Lauren Fisher, village resident. My question is, would the town be willing to fund it? If not, organize it?
I don't think to the degree we have. I think we'd be looking for the same that used to happen in the past, where a lot of people chip in and the town, well, at least that's my view, where maybe the town contributes something, but not 100%.
Since next year's such a big year and.
Yeah,
I've a short time to get it that.
I believe we have it in the
Organized.
budget.
yeah, I don't have it in front of you, but I believe the select board
budget
did
has-
budget for this year, so there's $13,000 to $14,000 budgeted. I think we'll have to spend some of it for the ones that's passed, so maybe $7,000 which is available of town money that's been allocated to fireworks. I also, my understanding is based on the year, maybe more expensive this year because of the big celebration, so.
So we have like, we have something to start with though.
Yes.
Yeah, we have seed money.
Yeah, we
Okay, great, thank you.
And do we have anybody reserved already to do it?
We don't right now because at the time of last year, the select board decided not to go forward with this, so we did a 1-year contract with the one we've used in the past.
Probably.
So-
I mean, is there any way that can get reserved and then?
We kind of, what my understanding is, I said this a few times, and I hope I'm correct, is about 3 years ago, this one company went to all the major players that you contract with and signed 3-year contracts to get them to ensure 2026 would be on July 4th for them. They did not offer Woodstock the same deal. And then the fact, so we were not able to lock in July 4th. I don't know what they have open for next year yet. I can reach out to them and see.
That would probably be, good to do. Do you, what day of the week is it on?
I believe it's Saturday next year.
just intro PJ to the
Yeah,
supplier.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday next year, yeah.
Well, even if you get them on Friday to like kick off the weekend or something, that would be maybe acceptable to people. But I don't know. Okay, thank you.
PJ. Anything else on fireworks? No. Short-term rental policies.
yeah, so just contacts like that got asked on the agenda by the board. I don't know how long ago, the town and village worked together with the planning commission, came up with a short-term rental ordinance. Both boards passed it, both ordinances got challenged individually. The village ordinance held up, the select board's ordinance, so the town's ordinance got overturned. So we've kind of been operating again on 2 different tracks. And I think the select board want to talk about maybe revisiting a new ordinance or not. That's kind of context of where we're at.
I think we need to revisit it. I'm concerned that we have no cap. And I'd like to at least get a cap in place. I don't know what your numbers, if anyone's been able to run the numbers again from that software, but my understanding is that we have a lot more advertising within Woodstock than we have registered.
Mhm.
And I get concerned about safety and other issues, so I would like to have something in place. I don't know whether we want to mirror the village or not. We have a lot. I feel like the town has a bit of a different demographic as far as our short-term rentals.
Yeah.
With more rural spaces, so I'm not sure it makes sense to mirror what we had with the village, but I would like to open the discussion.
I echo Susan's concerns. I think we need to revisit it for efficiency's sake. Obviously, like having the two policies is not helpful. Also, I think the ecosystem around us is changing. Ludlow, Londonderry, Stowe, West Windsor are all developing their policies as well. We were kind of at the forefront last time we did this. I think something also that I would be interested in exploring, just like to note, something that came up in the discussion last week was that this is an important tool to give residents to leverage the value of their homes. And whether or not we want to make that kind of an exclusive benefit to primary residents, which has been done in other towns, but also, given that this was challenged last time, I would move that, or I would suggest that we develop this with the idea that it would be voted on in or around town meeting day, so a referendum would coincide with town meeting day to ensure that we get the to get everybody out and voting on this, since it impacts everybody.
The safety issue is a big thing.
Yeah, the safety thing is definitely, I mean, we know from the floods, we brought this up in the discussion, during the floods, we weren't able to reach guests of short-term rentals who were on the boil notice and on the do not drink notice. That was a huge thing. Some of the short-term rentals aren't fire safety compliant, smoke detector compliant. Those are really big issues for us.
So what would our next step be?
It's up to the board. In the past, when we did this, you had the planning commission kind of do all the legwork, present the ordinance to the board. The board kind of then had some open meetings and then voted on it. You do something similar to the planning commission. I'm not sure what the bandwidth is right now.
That's what I was.
So Laura might be able to answer that
Yeah,
question.
I mean, the planning commission has a full docket right now. They're in the middle of the first bylaw review. We're gonna do future land use mapping at the next meeting and then probably dive back into town planning. So I think there's tie-ins, but I also think that where they left it was with us, that I would be comfortable from a board perspective and the trustees making the tweaks we know we need to make, I think, to incorporate the feedback we heard from folks, whether that's on the fee schedule, which I think was a huge point of contention, or if it's some other mechanism. But I think that I would feel comfortable taking that on as a board, maybe like after during budget season. I don't know how much time you think is.
I think if we're going to hear from the public, we may want to start a little sooner than that to set aside some time for public input.
Okay.
But I agree. I think we should look at what we had and reflect on what we heard and make appropriate changes.
So do we want to start having some public meetings set up? Just on the community like we have done in the past? Do we want to, invite people to the next select board meeting and go from there?
Maybe
Yeah, I
a
think-
combination,
What did you say, Ray?
maybe a combination.
Yeah, combination.
I mean, we don't have to do them every day, but, once a week someplace might be.
Yeah.
Roger, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I just, based on the experience last time.
Who are you?
Oh, sorry, Roger Logan, Woodstock. I don't even know why I'm sitting down. I never sit down, but, one of the major complaints I've heard from people who are not necessarily owners is the unlimited number of rentals. And
Do you mean stays or do you mean properties?
no, stays, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, properties is a whole other thing. And I realize, or I believe that to a considerable extent came about because of the legal pressure from the short-term rental lobbyists who essentially threaten legal challenges. I would look for ways, and I realize that you have to take account of all the legal ramifications of whatever happens. But I would look for ways to, as much as possible, not have people who are not Woodstock residents, who are professional lobbyists participating openly in the conversation. They can take out advertisements, they can do whatever else they want to, but I think it should be limited to Woodstock residents, the actual discussions, because last time they brought in ringers from all over the Northeast. And I have, my sense is, and I don't know this, that they severely hindered the remedies that we could apply. And again, I think the unlimited number of rentals in one house was a big problem for a lot of people. So, thanks.
Thank
I don't know if you can do this, but.
Okay, so. We're all set with this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we can talk about offline,
Yeah.
set up meetings and.
okay, perfect. Okay, executive session, I'd like a motion to enter into executive session, 1 VSA 313, after making specific findings of premature public general knowledge would clearly place a public body or a person involved at a substantial disadvantage.
And it's just to discuss potential
It's
conflicts.
to discuss a contract.
To discuss contract, okay, contract discussion.
I would move we go into executive session under 1 VSA 313 to discuss the contract.
Your second? All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, go first.
Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
I move we leave executive session.
Your second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, approval of the minutes of 5/29/25 and 6/26/25.
I had some changes which Kitty has made. The only substantive change was with the sewer abatement we did on 4980 South Road. I wanted to add that the property owner was reminded that under the guidelines, she has to come back in 3 years. Yeah, I just wanted them to know that that was a substantive change.
Right.
So.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
What can you approve of them?
Your second?
From 529 and 626.
and then just-
Still
second.
All right, all those in favor?
Thank
Aye. Okay. Citizens' comments?
I've got my stop.
Okay. You're not gonna make me do it. I'm ready.
My name is Byron Kelly, Woodstock resident. Three quick things, I think. The first one is, you should all have a copy of the email I sent to the manager. I spoke to them. It outlined what I told you, I think, pretty succinctly.
Yeah.
In the issues. I would like to add that if it concerns you at all, what I brought up about approximately $100,000. I've since done more research, and I think it's over 200,000. Things that I did. I will continue to look at this through my public request for records. However, I'm going to be very honest and say, I think it's a concern of the board, as you said. We should look into this. And that's what really amazed me. I don't want, it shouldn't be adversarial. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and this is more just a note of concern. Because there are sometimes concerns, because there's so many executive sessions. However, they also say, I know that these are unusual times for the executive sessions, but the one that concerns me the most is, back in May, I spoke to you briefly, I looked you all in the eye, and I told you about some what I thought faults or failures within the police contract. I have complete support for the police department and the police officers. But I brought that up and I actually said, I'd like to see the contract, the past, future. I never did. All of a sudden in June, it's on the agenda to discuss. And I looked, and I looked, and I looked. I looked at joint meetings, I looked at separate meetings, I looked everywhere else, and it was nowhere listed. My concern is, if the two boards discuss that contract in executive session, I believe, it's just me, I believe that if you read the executive sessions, the laws that can do it, yes, it's a contract. However, it's a contract between two public bodies. And therefore, it should not have been allowed if something like that happened in executive session. That's all I'm going to say about that. Period. The third thing is, while it worked well tonight, and I really appreciate all that every board member, wherever it is in the community, to move citizens' comments to last. I think I know the reason why, and I would just like to have people think, I think it is wrong. I think it's good if citizens make it to a meeting, if you want them to be at the meeting. Than to be at the beginning, because if they have to wait through a long meeting, and then you go into executive session before citizens' comments, it's even more disenfranchising citizens from being involved in government. That's it.
Thank you.
Just a point of, the citizens' comments years ago, were last on the,
Yes, thank you.
agenda. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but
You know, I think we want more people in meetings, not less.
Thank you, Brian.
thank you. Any other citizens' comments?
I move we adjourn.
Sorry, so we did that other business at the bottom.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
other business.
Any other business? No?
Seeing none, I move we adjourn.
Your second? All those in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.